Hello everyone, welcome to the presentation of new features of Usability TRB V4188. First, let's have an overall look at this version. We mainly focused on business enhancements, usability enhancements, efficiency and some others enhancements. Next, I will introduce them one by one. First, it's the business enhancements. In actual business, this sort of walls are frequently used. However, in the old version, you only can create rectangular walls. In the new version, you can create irregular wall, and parametric wall. Then the rebar in parametric walls can be calculated by sloping surface. Next is wall hooks. We add the calculation settings for wall hooks. The previous method of calculating wall hooks by area is kept, and a new method is added, with which you can adjust start distance, rounding, and view the 3D rebar. With the previous method, you cannot view 3D rebar. In actual business, the rebar diameters might differ at the top and bottom of walls in the same floor. With the old version, you cannot deal with this scenario rapidly. In the new version, we change it to after arranging laps in wall reinforcement, you can modify the info of the rebar sections, broken by laps separately. For walls of L-shaped intersections, when calculating joints without U-bar, the vertical bars are calculated, based on the model drawn. Therefore, when all walls are drawn along the outer sideline, the vertical bars at the intersections are calculated repeatedly. In the new version, only calculate one wall continuously, and make deductions for the other wall. If the wall diameters are different, when the max diameter is selected, calculate the bars with max diameter continuously, and make deductions to the bars with minutes diameter. When the minutes diameter is selected, calculate the bars with minutes diameter continuously, and make deductions to the bars with max diameter. If the wall diameters are the same, calculate the bars with greater ID continuously, and make deductions to the bars with smaller ID. In actual business, many bars in walls lap in the way like two overlapping U-bars. With TRB, you cannot deal with this scenario. In new version, add calculation settings, and provide two options. Option 1, calculate by link, the original binder calculation. Option 2, calculate by lapped overlapping loops, newly added to deal with overlapping U-bars. In old version, to select values for U-joint in wall, you can now only select the maximum, or minimum value of the horizontal bar, but not the value of the horizontal bar of the current wall. In new version, add the option, diameter of horizontal bars in associated wall. You can select the diameter of horizontal bar, in the associated wall. The U-bars in multiple wall segments cannot extend into adjacent walls. Now, the U-bar can be extended into adjacent wall segments correctly. For calculation, make the parameters BW and BHC available for joints. Next it is raft side bars. In actual business, you may need to arrange bars in pile caps by zone. With TRB, you can use raft to deal with this scenario. But some sidebars of the rafts cannot be calculated correctly. In new version, enhance the calculation of raft sidebars, and provide 3 calculation methods in calculation settings. By lap, standard value, calculate using the existing method, break each section, and calculate by the standard value. By lap, specified lap number, calculate by the lap number input. If there are multiple sections of sidebars, calculate by the standard value. By link, calculate sidebars in the way of calculating links. When you select to calculate by lap, you can choose whether to calculate the sidebars at drops. You may use raft to draw pile caps. However, only pile caps, not rafts, can be taken as supports for beams. In actual scenarios, you need to draw rafts and pile caps at the same location. The operations are trivial. Now, you can manually set rafts as the supports for beams. For the bending of slab main bars, In calculation settings, you can only set the bend of top bars, not the bend of bottom bars. In new version, the bending of slab main bars, at top and bottom are separated. You can set the bending for slab main bars, meeting slab opening, and the bending at the end of cantilever slab separately. When selecting the value for L, of slab support bar, the original principle is related with the direction of the axis grid, which may lead to errors in many cases. Judge the value of L by the arrangement direction of support bar. The number of rows in software is consistent with that in drawings. In new version, when identifying multiple rows of rebar at bottom using beam schedules, switch the rebar info between the front and the back. Currently, if the bend is greater than the pile cap height, in rebar 3D, the bars will exceed the model. In new version, enhance rebar 3D make bends automatically go back after extending to the opposite edge. Enhance the principle of finding slab according to actual business. Make the principle of finding slab in TRB and TAS as consistent as possible. Solve the problems raised when exchanging models. You can use Link TBQ project in TRB, and run TBQ, with the same account simultaneously. In new version, add check-in and check-out in the ribbon, so as to achieve the collaboration with TBQ. When a build time is checked out for editing in TRB, it will be locked and cannot be edited in TBQ unless you check in it in TRB, and vice versa. Link TBQ. The methods of associating quantities are different. In TRB, you can add and show quantity details in a pop-up window. In new version, remove the pop-up window, place the quantity details window at the bottom of the interface. In quantity details, you can input factors, add quantities in the empty rows manually. You can also delete and reversely check the quantities. Besides double-click to associate quantities, you can also drag and drop to associate quantities in View Quantity by Category. Add the checkbox for Show Association Status, and Show Subtotal at the bottom. Let's continue. New is the Usability enhancements. Parametric elements. When creating parametric elements, remove all secondary windows. You can set the info on size and rebar after completing the creation. For the rebar in pile cap, all info are input through the parametric diagram. In TRB, you can find entities by name, ID or attribute. But the options listed are not complete, and you cannot find further by more detailed attributes. Enhance the interface, and add the attribute details for advanced find, to make the find feature easier to use. In the latest version, we have made further enhancements for BIM model. Integrate the 3 existing functions into 2 functions, import model, and export model. Under export model, provide by floor and by entity. Remove block-related functions. Replace block-related functions by combining cross-element select, and export by entity. Unify all files involving import and export to one file type, .cubic. And keep rebar info unchanged when changes occur. After enhancements, you can deal with the exchange of TRB and TAS, the merge of different TRB projects, the archiving and loading of entities and elements, the processing of changes, and so on. On actual drawings, there may be no axis grids, or the entities are eccentric. As per floor plans, you can only capture the sidelines for drawing, so you need to press F4 to switch insertion points. In new version, modify the default drawing method of linear entities. By default, you will draw them along the outer sideline, and the selection will be saved. Add the display for the pointer moving in the entity. When moving the pointer in the corresponding entity, the frame of the entity will be highlighted, which makes your selection more intuitive. Next, let's see what other enhancements we have done. From TRB 2019 to TRBC and now TRBC2, we always keep the idea of customer-oriented in mind, and try to provide customers with a pragmatic solution. This is the module navigation bar in the old version. It takes a large space. Not easy to use, and not good looking. This is the new version. More concise. By default, only the icons are displayed. When simplifying interface with the ribbon, we removed some functions not frequently used. But it is found that several functions are helpful for users, so we get them back. And some others enhancements, and the modify associated zone when the child nodes are selected partially. If you select the parent node, the status will become, select all first, not cancel all. And after using quick select entity, you can center and enlarge the selected entity. For wall and beam schedules, add the sorting function. And so on. Next, we come to efficiency improvement. After creating large projects, or importing large drawings, the efficiency becomes very low. The efficiency deduction mainly concentrates on the switching between 2D and 3D. Improve the switching between 2D and 3D. The overall efficiency is improved 3 times. And improve the efficiency of importing drawings. When linking TBQ projects, if the data volume is large, the efficiency will be low, affecting the usability. After the enhancement, the overall operating process is smooth. That's all for the new features of TRB V4188. Thanks.